Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Thursday, powerhouse show for all you. Gianni the Greek is going to lead off with the Steam Report. Joe Raineri putting a lot on Joe's plate. Falcons, Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. He's going to break down Iowa State in college basketball. And then we're going to break down the Celtics and the Bucs. Dan and I are going to do WTF or LFG. We have a good all-around-the-world, all props for Thursday Night Football and a same-game parlay. We've only got 4 NBA games, so I'll touch on a little bit of NBA a little bit later on. So thank you very much for joining us. Let's get it started. By the way, shout out to Drew Martin. Drew Martin came on this show and said Liberty is going to lose by 20, and they did not lose by 20. They lost by 40. An insanely good call on the blowout. Like, Dan, it was one of the best breakdowns we've ever had on this show. I mean, no sweat whatsoever. The line was 20, but absolutely blasted it. So I was very proud of it.
And you know from college basketball, like it's not something that our team caps regularly, but there was a stretch where we were doing women's college basketball, and some of these numbers they just get insane in college basketball. And a lot of the times you let the line lead the way. You're not like, well, they're not going to win by 20 points. Yeah, they win by 40 points, Andy. That's early season, mid-season college basketball for you, baby. And that's a beautiful thing.
I was so happy for him. So, all right, let's bring on Gianni. We're getting started right off the bat with college football. What's up, Gianni?
Real quick, OHL Canadian Hockey, North Bay Battalion, -150. I'm only giving it out on the show here, all because one customer bitched, and I didn't like it. It rubbed me the wrong way. I've been giving out these OHL plays that have been nothing but money, bro. These handball plays, like all this extra stuff that has been such money. Like if I give it out at +9.5, if it goes to 4.5, it doesn't matter because that dog wins by 47 points or the spread doesn't matter. But for some reason, this gentleman had to write over and over and over and over how sick he is that he's not getting the line. So you know what? That's fine. No, I'll just bet them myself. I'll just keep them to myself, or if they happen to come on WagerTalk Today, because it's not my fault if you have one out. I explained it over and over to subscribers again and again. If you want to bet these off-market stuff, you need a ton of books that are off-screen. If your only ability is to bet at DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, ignore this email because you're not getting down, brother. I'm sorry to break it to you. We're smashing those markets. So there's people as subscribers that could use it. Just because you can't doesn't mean you got to flood customer service and piss the girls off, who then piss me off and take an hour out of my day to where I could be handicapping winners for my subscribers. Instead, I have to fuck with my head because I have crazy OCD, and a little comment like that is going to ruin my entire week. So if I lose over the next 3 days, it's your fault, bro. It's your fault. You ruined this perfect mindset. I was running so hot, and you had the bitch you couldn't get +1.5 when everybody else could. Sorry, had to get that off. Now I'm better. Thank you.
Andy, the thing that I loved, and I was glad.
Sharing like gold. I'm sharing gold, and you got the nerve to take 10 minutes to email that he's giving. Oh, that's a stale number. Like, what am I trying to increase my results by 3 freaking units? Are you crazy, bro? Like, I'm trying to slide one past you. I'm trying to help you by give you information. If you can't use it, you can't use it. Someone else can. But that's the dude that like tattletales. Yeah, I don't get it.
Exactly. He's the guy who says, teacher, you didn't collect my homework. You arrested. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting in the back like, I didn't do my homework. Why do we got to bring this up? But it's so funny because Andy, he brings up, hey, I got an OHL play. And I saw you and I both did the same thing. I went down to my phone to see, can I get down on OHL? Andy looks over at his screen being like, can I get down? So CR, one more time. What was it in case before we let the guy know?
It was North Bay Battalion. On the money line. They're good up to 175, or you could lay half a goal.
I'm in. -150 for me. I'm in. Let's go.
Great price. Great price.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Well,
this is Andy. We missed VR on the show for 2 days, and he comes with fire out the gate. We love it when VR is on fire.
No. Report. There's steam coming. And Gianni, you are talking to people who handicap darts and lacrosse. We've gotten those emails before.
I can imagine
we've gotten those emails before, and we can't put them out. That's a big problem. Like, one person complains, okay, we can't do this anymore. All right,
that's what happened with me. Like yesterday, I swear not to like rub it in, but I got like 5 more props that ended up going 3-1-1. And you just miss them. Like, you know what I mean? And then I'll just put them on this theme sheet. You just saved me for having to take another 20 minutes of cutting and pasting, bro. Thank you. Let's go.
All right. Well, I feel your anger. We have had this conversation behind closed doors.
Let's make some money.
All right. Let's talk college football. There's nothing better than salty SEC guy. And there was a salty SEC guy in the comment section who, one of the most passive-aggressive shade comments I have seen in a while. So this is right up your alley, Gianni. Can you guys talk about college power index rankings and how Indiana, Ohio State, second and third defense, but 45th and 46th strength of schedule? Basically, his thing is he's doing the whole thing about the SEC plays a tougher schedule. They beat each other up and yada, yada, yada. So go power ranking. To me, this sounds like an argument from before NIL.
And
that's what it sounds like.
No, go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry.
I know. I was going to say, like 10, 15 years ago, I feel like this was a solid argument. Yeah, the SEC just had all the good players and, all the good coaches. I just don't feel like that's the case anymore. The entire landscape has changed. So this brings up the difference between the college rankings and the power rankings for what we bet. So let's go over that.
And here's what I'm going to say. In college football, the power ratings that I use have produced over 120 plus, 130 plus units of profit, a sample size of close to 400 bets, and a win percentage of over 58, which is incredible for that kind of sample size. I've been profitable in college football year over year using power ratings more or less alone and my read of the market, because the power ratings that I get come from a kid I grew up with that is, when it comes to math, the smartest person I've ever met in my life, and doesn't gamble, doesn't use them to profit, just simply takes what I told him is pertinent, puts them together, and spit me out a number. The kid has no opinion, could care less, probably couldn't name 5 players on any team. So that's why I trust his numbers more than anything else. And here's what I could tell you. Ohio State and Indiana are the best 2 teams in the country, okay? Even after my adjustment, going into bet on it yesterday, I was sure Indiana was now the number 1 team power rating-wise. I was even mistaken as my man sent me the updates, and Ohio State is still the highest power-rated team in the country. If they were to play Indiana, and Indiana was favored by them, because, again, the book's job is to balance risk. It's not to predict the outcome of sporting events. So they wouldn't make Ohio State a favorite after everyone just saw Indiana beat them, and the line was close anyway. But what would happen is Indiana would become maybe a pick, a -1, what have you. Public would probably bet Indiana, and the sharps would just take the value on Ohio State. That's how that would play out. But power rating-wise, Ohio State's still about 1.5 points better on a neutral than Indiana. Now, as far as the SEC goes, power rating-wise, 1 team's only in the top 5. That's Georgia. And still, my power ratings would make the Notre Dame team, which hasn't made it into the playoffs, Notre Dame would still be a 2.5-point favorite over that Georgia team on a neutral field. They would be a favorite over Alabama on a neutral field. They would be a favorite over Mississippi on a neutral field. They would be a favorite over Texas Tech on a neutral field. Yes, Notre Dame would be favored over all of those teams on a neutral field. In fact, only against Oregon is it a pick-em. The only 2 teams that would be favored for sure over Notre Dame on neutral power rating-wise is Ohio State and Indiana. Otherwise, Notre Dame's that strong. Kind of like, Penn State, everyone forgot about them. The teams, when I'm looking at the college rankings that are overvalued, number 1, Texas A&M. They have Texas A&M as the 7th best team in the country. I've moved Texas A&M up as much as I can in the power ratings, and I still can't have them break my top 15. They don't. They just don't, bro. And the reason is simple. They barely have a top 25 offense, barely have a top 10 defense. They have a respectable strength of schedule, but there's just so many teams that are above them. That's the truth. Another team, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's overvalued. They're, a top 10 team in the rankings. They don't make my top power ratings. They don't make my top 15 power ratings. In fact, they're right on the cusp. And again, that's just numbers. That's just the data. And as far as, again, the SEC schedule-wise, dude, Indiana's had a top 20 strength of schedule. Their schedule is comparable to Georgia's, comparable to Oregon's, comparable to Penn State's. They've had a very tough strength of schedule. Ohio State hasn't. They've had, 45th type of strength of schedule, like Notre Dame. And that's why with Notre Dame, again, that's the negative on Notre Dame. Their strength of schedule hasn't been the toughest, so their stats should be as impressive as they are. Number one offensively, efficiency-wise, just out of the top 5 on the defensive side of the ball. But when I look at a team like Indiana, dude, they're top 3 offense. They're top 3 defense strength of schedule. Georgia, top 5 defense, but their offense is out of the top 10. Alabama, top 10 defense, offense out of the top 10. The most balanced teams are Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Notre Dame. Those are balanced. The other teams, it's either heavy on offense, heavy on defense, but those are the most balanced teams. I'm sorry, I went off on a rant, but just sharing the data that I have in front of me.
No, it makes sense. It's the difference between rankings for bowl games and such and rankings for making money. It's a huge difference. It's a massive, massive difference. So, the ones that follow the rankings that the college football committee puts out, use those as your power rankings. That's
like Miami 10th. Are you kidding me? Miami 10th? Miami 10th. Like Penn State would be a field goal favorite over them. Penn State, who's what? 6-6. 6-6. I would lay a field goal with Penn State against Miami.
That's saying something, Andy. That's saying something because it hadn't gone too well for Penn State this year.
No, it hasn't.
I have friends that think Penn State nailed their coaching position, so they're very high on Penn State moving forward. We'll see. So,
and don't see the Phillies hat and think I'm a Penn State fan. I was actually a Hurricanes fan when I was growing up. It was convicts versus Catholics. That was the battle back then. Notre Dame and Miami. I was so into Miami back then. Testaverde, those were the years. That quarterback after quarterback after quarterback.
It does always crack me up when people conflate like Philadelphia fans with Penn State fans. Like, you understand how far you have to drive to get to Happy Valley from Philly? Ain't nobody from Philly taking the time to drive up to Happy Valley. I can tell you that much. Unless they want to get their car destroyed by some white-tailed deer. That's the only way they're making that drive.
Let's do the rest of the Steam report, Gianni. I know you got a busy day, and then I want to get some UFC for the people. So Steam report, let's go with football, and then we can move to college basketball.
Perfect. I'm going to hit you up off the Steam sheet. Most of the football has been in the Steam sheet since Monday and Tuesday, so I'm sure the numbers are gone. But let me give you some of the college football. I won't give it all because there's a lot in there. But they laid 204 Delaware plus 3.5, 207 Memphis plus 6 plus 5.5. They took 297 Miami plus 4.5. They 219 Central Michigan plus 12.5, 223 Florida International plus 9.5. And a favorite for you, 232 BYU minus 3 and 3.5 in the NFL. Ooh, a lot of volume there too. Steam Sheet's got a lot of good stuff. 456 Houston minus 6.5 and 7.5. Chicago 462. I know I've been hard on Chicago of late. Wise guys took them minus 6.5 and 7. They took Buffalo plus 2.5 all the way down to Pick'em. I'll give you 2 more because there's a lot. 473 Green Bay minus 1 and 1.5. They got there for me last week. And Minnesota Vikings, another one that got there for us. They took the 7.5, took the key number 7 and 6.5 on Minnesota. So there's some NFL and some college football. NBA for you, a side and a total. I'll give you 580 New Orleans plus 5, and then 575 under 225 Boston and Milwaukee. 2 college basketball for you. We'll go with 672 IU Indiana +2 all the way down the pick'em, and then 681 North Dakota State -5.5. So that's some of the sharper stuff today. Again, big couple days ahead, big couple weeks ahead with all the college football and NFL settling out the playoffs picture.
Let's move to UFC real quick. Last event of the year, and Gianni and I were talking about this right before the show. So we're going to pick a day, and we'll do kind of a UFC overview about how our years went, what we're seeing, because Gianni and I each did not have our best year, and I think a lot has changed. And Gianni's a lot is getting ready to change with UFC. As you know, you see they're like basically done with Fight Pass.
I know, and I have a podcast on there, and I don't even know where it's going. I know my contract got extended 2 years. Thank you, UFC and Zuffa. But good. I don't know that's for you on the line. I don't know what's going on with the Fight Pass and all. So as soon as I get any information, I'll let you guys know. But I don't even know.
LFA doesn't have any events scheduled, because nobody knows where they're gonna. So anyway, all right, let's do some. Let's get some betting info. We'll start with the main event. Cop Royval. Cop's a huge favorite. Can you make the case for Royval?
No, and here's why. He's been in a lot of wars of late, even when he's lost. I touched on that with Moreno of last week, and that's why I was real heavy on Taira, because I thought Moreno, even though he's young in age at 32, he's gone through a lot of wars. In fact, his last 5 or 6 fights all were 5 rounds, and 4 of them had been fight of the nights. And he split, went 2-2-1. So even when he lost or won, they were wars. And that's what I see with Royval. Over his last 4 fights, you're looking at decision. 3 of those 4 went 5 rounds. 2 of those 4 were fight of the nights. Dude, that takes a toll on you. And here comes Manel Kape with a ton of power. Excellent takedown defense. I don't think Royval is going to be able to do anything as far as grappling goes. And I think Kape's going to start to systematically break him down. I like the over 3.5 a little bit, because blindly going over 3.5 and 4.5 has been, plus EV long term. But I worry Kape's going to get him out of there. I really do. I like Manel Kape in this spot. I think he wins. I wouldn't be surprised inside the distance. I know it's chalky, but the market tells you everything you know. Because I do think Royval money will come in from recreational bettors, getting them at +3 to 1, kind of like you saw with Moreno, kind of like you saw even with Jan on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's warranted. I like the Kape side.
Sexy underdog pick of the week that everyone we need a name for this one, where the public dog, where everybody thinks they're really smart by picking this underdog, is Cesar Almeida this week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, fighting Ola Kasachek's brother. I'm running the other direction. I'll take the favorite. I just see too many people on Almeida and not enough line movement to make me feel good. Ola Kasachek's training with fighting nerds. Almeida can't wrestle. Ola Kasachek's got big-time power. More than anything, give me the under in that fight.
Well, and that's what I did this my podcast yesterday, and I asked Nick about that line move, and he said it was correct. Ola Kasachek should be the favorite. They made a mistake when they brought Almeida out as the favorite. And he is the brother of, Michael Alexejczyk, but he's got that type of knockout power. And he thought he should be the rightful favorite also. And that's one of those sharp dogs and square dogs, like Kelly says, that I don't like either. I think a lot are going to be taking Almeida, whose only loss is by split decision to Kopylov, and he's coming off a performance bonus and now getting plus money against a debut fighter who's only fought a few minutes in the Contender Series. Yeah, I'm 36 seconds? I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I think the market's telling me, just like with Kape, that Alexejczyk's the right side.
I like cost over Charrier. I'm done betting on Charrier. I've lost too much money, and I've made too much
that was my side. I like him too, and he cost me, bro. He's inconsistent. He's on paper. He's so good.
He's the worst.
So good
I know. He should be awesome, and he sucks.
Wow, right.
I love Bobby Green. Goes by King Ring. I love him over Lance Gibson. This Lance Gibson, he's a wrestler that's not very good at wrestling. That's not a good recipe for a guy who can strike. I like King Green. And then I actually like the underdog, Thompson, coming in against Brito.
Brito?
I do. Brito makes too many mistakes. He just bonehead, man. He's violent. He can finish you, but he can also put himself in terrible positions. Thompson, 23 years old. He's athletic. He's got the cardio. Good wrestler. He came off a really nice performance against the guy who tried to take him down a million times, and he stuffed all of them. So, anything else you like on this card?
No, man. To be honest with you, I'm still kind of working on it. Actually, doing my notes today that I have to turn in the UFC. I turn in some betting notes to them, and just off other than comp. And then against Costa, because I thought, again, like Cherie, like you said, but I'm starting to see the Costa steam come in, which is worrisome, and nothing really jumped out. I like Pat over Fry. I did like Guillermo.
Love that one.
Pat, but
Green
now
it.
that line's gotten away from me. He's almost a 2-1 favorite. Not much has stuck out so far, but like I said, it's a little bit early, and I've been coming off really good UFC this last month, so not going to force anything. Just going to what I confirm and then look to a good 2026 where we should progress towards the mean, because I had a horrific 2025 in MMA. I tell you when I win and I tell you when I lose. And after, 5 straight winning years in MMA, I got destroyed in 2025, demolished.
Well, we're going to talk about that, but I know you got an appointment to get to. Extended Steam Report. Thank you very much. Tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk.
Thank you, brother. There's a lot up there. I got the Thursday night football package up. That pass is available. I have the Saturday college football. That's going to be all 4 plays in there. Sunday NFL with a 5% big move. And also that UFC card's up with, I think, 4% already. So running hot over 77 units the last 7 days. Number 1 last 3, number 1 last 7, number 1 last 30 days. Stay consistent, though. Don't start jumping up your bet size. Again, maintaining that kind of win percentage is mathematically impossible. No one's going to hit 7 out of 10 bets consistently. Not me, not anyone. So stay consistent with bet size. We'll keep grinding out a profit. Thank you, brother, and best of luck to everybody this weekend.
Gianni the Greek going to be a part of Football Friday tomorrow. Thank you very much, Gianni. Have a good Thursday. We're going to bring on Joe Raineri in just a second. Quick recap. We did hit our NBA best bet last night. Thank you very much to everybody that was on. We had Marcus Smart over 4.5 points, and he ended with 26. Got on fire late, so easy cash in that one. A couple of you have brought up darts. I'll talk about darts after Joe is in. Those plays that you got out, those are futures for the full tournament. The meat of the plays is the daily, so don't panic. I'll explain that afterwards. We have our Monday night. We have our Thursday night football best bet that is up 24-13 run on prime time plays this season. We also have an NBA best bet that is up, and we do have that darts package that is still up, $59. You get all of our darts plays. There's some futures that have been released, and the big plays though are going to be those daily matchups and parlays and props that we have. So I'll explain that after Joe. But we're running really hot, 21 units in December. We're calling this the sprint to the end of 2025. It's been a hellacious November, a really, really good start to December. So we look to continue that. All those plays can be found at wt.buzz/AL. Go get that Monday night or that Thursday night football play. I'm going to attach the NBA best bet to that. That's what I'll do. Thursday night football best bet, you get a bonus NBA prop. I just decided that. So let's rock tonight and have a big Thursday. All right, let's bring in Joe. Joe, for a little bit, I thought, I was like, man, Joe and I just got done talking about LSU, and now we get to talk about Michigan. And then it got really dark, and I'm not really sure that this is a situation to poke a whole lot of fun of. I will just say my Ohio State friends are having just a really, really grand old time this morning. The memes are just all over the place. What do you do if you're Michigan right now, real quick?
Cry. That's what you got to do here. But let me say this too, Andy, and here's the question I have. Number one, there is an upside here. Like, we get to watch maybe the best dressed college football coach in the history of the game now take over on an interim basis. It's Biff Poggi is now your interim head coach, and nobody dresses better than that man. But let me ask you, if Michigan thought Sharon Moore was that valuable and that good a coach, are we even learning about this right now, Andy? I'm wondering. Is this even a situation where they do an investigation? Because it's not like Michigan to hide crap. It's not like what are you talking about video? I'm just saying, if they really thought he was a great coach, like he was Harbaugh worthy, I'm not sure we hear about any of this at all, if we're being honest.
It's pretty bad. it's pretty bad.
But it sounds like it got worse after he knew he was caught. Like after he knew it was coming out is where it really started to go off the rails. But the only reason he knew he was going to get caught is because Michigan's like, well, he sucks, and we don't have to worry about paying him because we can fire him with cause, so we're good to go. And that's kind of what they did, is pulled the hammer on him and didn't realize there might be some collateral damage after that.
Well, and Andy, to Joe's point too, since Jim Harbaugh arrived there in Ann Arbor, 11 staffers either arrested or fired from the sport due to violations. So,
I'm just saying,
details.
Birds of a feather, Andy.
Details.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this. A little birdie told me a week ago that the Michigan coach was going to be out. I didn't even pay any attention to it. They knew this. They knew about this for a while. So
well, I don't see how you don't. Part of the story was that he got Plan B DoorDash to his office. Like that's rule. Acquire it yourself. You know?
Right.
You know what I mean? You never DoorDash Plan
There's
B.
a bit aggressive.
That's Plan C on how to get Plan B. Plan A cannot be DoorDash it to you.
Yeah, no.
So,
Well, I
right.
wonder, is Lane Kiffin available? I don't know. How does this work now for Michigan? Where do you go? Is Bill Belichick get a phone call? Like, how does this work exactly with Michigan?
He's misunderstood.
He's misunderstood. Correct. I agree. Yes.
All right, Joe. Well, let's talk some sports here. Let's talk some lines and bettable info. We got the Falcons and the Buccaneers. I mean, this Falcons quarterback situation is almost as bad as the Colts, maybe worse. How the mighty have fallen here. You got Tampa Bay -5. They're getting basically all their wide receivers back just in time for the run. But Tampa Bay has not been that good recently. -5 is the line here. It kind of tells us the books aren't totally sure what to do here. Over under 44. What's your breakdown on this game?
Well, I just did the best betting show with Art, and Art's like, man, there ain't nobody playing this game. Like, they have zero interest at the Westgate right now for this game because they're kind of in no man's land. To your point, Andy, 4.5, 5. The books are like, all right, any day now. Anybody want to come in, make a big bet so we can push it one way or the other because we don't know. It does look like the total was 44.5. Maybe that's starting to come down a little. I mean, listen, the schedule makers, when they put this on the list, probably thought this was going to be a game, Andy, that was probably going to be for first place in this division. And boy, were they wrong. This is just awful on so many levels here. Yes, Evans likely back. They're going to have some of their skill position guys back. Cade Otton likely still not going. But what the hell are you going to get from these guys in a situation where we haven't seen them forever? I can't imagine that this Atlanta defense, after getting crushed in the second half last week, Raheem Morris is a defensive-minded guy. They usually defensively bounce back after getting blown out in these types of situations. I can't imagine them allowing, Evans and everyone else to run all over them. So I tend to think that maybe that's being a little overvalued. Don't forget, still missing 2 starting guards on that offensive line. Christian Wirfs is great. It's good to have him back. But again, it feels like the Eagles' offensive line where he's 1 or 2 plays away from being back on the sideline again and out of the game. So that's what's been happening all year long. I think both defenses are going to be the star of this game, if we're being honest here, Andy. Bijan Robinson seems to be the only one that can either catch the ball or run the ball. He's he's all about the offense for Atlanta. It's clear they don't trust the passing game. I don't know where the points are coming from, really, from either of these two teams. So I'd be concerned. I like to think the Bucs are the right side here, Andy, but the problem is Baker and Todd Bowles against this division at home. The record is atrocious, Andy. I mean, they have been absolutely awful against the number. So I'm not exactly running to the window one way or the other to play it. If I'm looking at it, I'm probably looking the Atlanta Falcons team total under in this one, Andy.
I mean, it's wild when A bookmaker like Art says nobody's betting this
Nobody
NFL
says
primetime game.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's great. I mean, look at the number. It's been 4.5, 5, and okay. Anybody else want to bet this game?
I don't.
Well, it's a team whose record is ass, and then it's a team who they're fighting for the division against the Panthers. Yet in the last 9 games, they're 1-8 in getting outgained. So they've been outgained in 8 of their last 9 games. It's 2 teams that, regardless what the record says, it's tough to find value betting on either side of this one, man. Yeah, that's not good. It's not, and they've been terrible against their own division. First of all, they're 0-2. I think the last couple of games, right, against this Falcons team. Tampa is, and not exactly great against the division going back. So we usually you want to lay points. You want to lay points with the team that just lost outright to the Saints as 8.5-point favorites. Be my guest. I'll be betting props. I'll be betting props on Thursday night. That's about it.
I did see one prop I'll give out. Okay, Kirk Cousins rushing prop is 0.5 yard. I'm betting anytime touchdown and give me if he falls forward, Andy, we're getting at least half of our bet there at a pretty good.
Agree.
Kirk Cousins to get tackled forward and he can get 0.5 yard.
I agree. I love these
forward.
Joe, the year before he hurt his Achilles, we were doing a same game parlay of Kirk Cousins under his rushing yards and over his rush attempts, because when they'd win, he'd kneel down and lose yards. We were getting 6-1 games they were favored. I love me Kirk Cousins.
For what it's worth, any of the games, so it's either he doesn't run, he doesn't have a rush attempt. If he falls forward, like Joe said, any of the games that he has had an attempt, it's been 2 or more yards. So why not free roll it in an ugly ass game?
0.5 yard. All right, that's what you tune in for, the Kirk Cousins rushing props. Let's go to college basketball. Let's go to college basketball, Joe. Iowa State, bigger favorite here, minus 10.5 over under 142. We were talking a little bit earlier about sometimes early in the season, these big favorites, like they end up blowing these teams out because the books don't quite have a handle on what the lines really should be. Is this a scenario where you're looking at Ohio State to be a big winner here, or this a little too much respect?
Well, it's fascinating, right? Because you got the Big 10 versus the Big 12 here, which it's sometimes confusing still for people here. But Iowa is not bad this year, right? What are they, 8-1, I think, sitting there? Iowa State, 9-0. Both they have covered 7 of their last 9 games after beating, I believe, St. John's by 1 a couple of weeks ago. Iowa State has just gone scorched earth on people. I mean, their next 4 games, they beat teams by 18 points or more. To what, Gianni's point is that we're starting to get all of a sudden these numbers creeping up from teams that begin to separate themselves here. And listen, that win against Purdue at Mackey Arena, the toughest place to get a win in all of college basketball, that was pretty impressive. They're shooting lights out from 3. They shot 58% from the field in that game, 48% from 3. They've beaten Iowa the last 2 years by 9 points or more. So this has kind of been a little bit one-sided, but you got a new coach. The Fran McCaffrey days are over with Iowa. Iowa played its first road game. I think that was 9 days ago at Michigan State, and they lost by 19, mostly because, Andy, Michigan State is a very physical basketball team, and Iowa got pushed around. They're very good at shooting, but they're more of a finesse team than they are a physical team. And if they thought Michigan State was physical, wait until they get a load of what's going to happen here at Iowa State at home. They're going to get bullied around, and that's the problem here. I think you've had 2 lines of thought. We saw overnight money come in on Iowa, kind of pushing this down from 11.5 down to 10, 10.5. It's kind of where we're sitting right now, but I wouldn't be shocked, Andy, if this line starts to creep up by the time we get to tip and we go back to 11.5. So my advice is, if you like Iowa State, grab the 10.5 right now, because this is likely going up before tip. The only fear is Iowa plays so damn slow, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think Iowa State's going to get whatever they want from a physical standpoint.
All right. Yeah, physicality sometimes just cannot be overcome. So let's lay the wood there. All right, let's talk this Celtics Bucks game.
Oh,
Joe,
God.
if before the season I told you one team was the 3 seed in the East and one team was the 10 seed in the East, no chance you would say, well, clearly it's Boston is the 3 seed and Milwaukee is. Milwaukee's season, and maybe the foreseeable future, has cratered now. There's Giannis trade talks, and now, Giannis has a calf injury. I don't know what they do. Meanwhile, the Celtics, East is a little bit wide open. They're playing well. This is a really interesting team. 9-point favorites for the over-under 223.5. What do you make of this game tonight?
Yeah, two teams going in opposite directions, right? Because you're talking about a Celtics team that's won 10 of their last 12, and you're talking about a Bucs team that's lost 10 of their last 12. And there is a clear – I so wish Giannis was available for this game, because I think this would be what is pretty much a blast slate tonight. This game would have been must-watch television, I think, Andy, if Giannis was available to go. But he is busy interviewing with other teams right now, trying to figure out what uniform he'll be wearing next. So we're left with a Celtics team that, if I read one more story about Tatum playing one-on-one with guys and he'll be here before, wouldn't shock me if Tatum is back for a playoff run at all. But Boston is playing great basketball. The Bucs aren't. They're 1-7 without Giannis this season. They would be right there in contention if he was actually available, but they're not. So to me, I think the best way to look at this game is I think the value is on the over. I don't want to necessarily lay 9-10 points with Boston, although I think they win the game. I think we're getting points here. I think the Celtics are going to get theirs. I don't know that they're going to get a ton of pushback defensively from the Bucs. And the Bucs know they're going to have to score in this game, Andy, if they're going to keep it close or give themselves a shot to win. I don't see a 105-103 game here. I think a lot of the public perception and the money looks to be on the under here, dropping it to what? 223.5, 224. I think that's low. I think the value is looking at this game to go up and over the total here tonight. Let it rain threes across the board as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Boston, they will rain threes. I mean, I think they're hitting the most of any team. I mean, I'm looking at their
they could be 120 tonight. They could be good for 120. I mean,
these totals for Boston are going into the 130s and 140s the last 5 games, so pretty hard to buck that trend. Great breakdowns as always, Joe. What do you have up for everyone at WagerTalk?
I am locked, Andy. The more I kept looking at it, the more I just gone, this is absurd. So I do have a 5% max bet available Sunday for the NFL. 5-0 on those plays this year, Andy, in the NFL. So they don't come around often. But when they do, we see value, we fire on it, and that's it. And that's exactly what we have on a game Sunday. That sooner rather than later, guys, because at some point something tells me this line will be moving before we get to kick. You can hop on board. Go grab that now. The Weekend Warrior package for all plays is a fantastic idea as well. But go ahead and grab that 5% max bet right now in the NFL for Sunday.
Joe Raineri, great breakdowns. Got a 5% best bet up, wt.buzz/JR. Joe, thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, Dan, we got a lot to get to. We got WTF, we got LFG, we've got props for Thursday night, we got a same game parlay. Let's do WTF and LFG. Let's do that, and then let's talk
why not?
props.
This has been out the gate here. We've done 2 of them. We are 0-2, Andy. We lost on a soccer play. We lost on a Jalen Hurts prop. So hey, whether you're watching, or, it's LFG or WTF for a reason. WTF means we're fading you, Dan. LFG goes, I'm tailing you. So, Andy, I know that this might be something that you're a little intrigued with. Joe mentioned all these receivers that are coming back tonight here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to have all the horses back, right? And Mike Evans, he's coming back. Hopefully that makes Mika Egbuka a little bit better. One player that I think is getting overlooked in this big shuffle that is also returning from the IR is Jalen McMillan. He's going to get his first action tonight, and I'm looking at his reception total over, because what does this Bucs team do? they pass out the wazoo. Attempts are crazy for Baker, whether he's injured, whether he's healthy. So his over 1.5 receptions for Jalen McMillan is sitting at 1.5. So we're asking, does this guy get 2 catches? But when he became a featured player last season, Andy, I think it was 6 straight games to end the season, 2 or more catches. Most of those were 5 catches with 7 type targets. Now they are a favorite. That begs the question, will they pass as much? Well, last week in the first half, the Falcons, they were tied with the Seahawks. So the defense was at least able to keep them in the game until it got out of the way. 4 catches, 7 targets last year against the Falcons. Do they use him much in his return? That's the question. So I think the targets could be there for Jalen McMillan simply because there's so many other folks to pay attention to in this offense that somebody's going to get open on the play. Sometimes it'll be Mike Evans. Sometimes it'll be Amika Big Boo, to quote Gronk there. But for me, Andy, plus 150, it's a great sprinkle here over 1.5 receptions. And I know you're attacking Jalen McMillan a little bit different of a way. So this might just be your first WTF of the 3 plays we've had, Andy.
I went with his receiving because I looked at this hard. I looked at both props really hard. I opted to go 10.5 because I found an article where they said he's probably going to be on a snap count tonight. He's practiced 6 games in a row.
Okay.
They say he's going to play, but he's going to be limited. To me, that says he's healthy enough to play. He's not going to play a ton, but they are going to get him a few targets. I would expect 2 to 3 targets. So that's why I went over 10.5 receiving because
he could do that on one
over this,
as opposed to asking him to get 2 catches. Okay, I see what you mean.
So you know me, I'm positive. I'll go LFG. Let's go Jalen McMillan, 2 catches for 15 yards tonight. How about that?
I like that. That's sexy, Andy. So there you go. Comment below after the video's done and let us know what props you're on. This is a tough game to bet here tonight. I really don't have much for the side. Don't have much thought on the total unless you're looking at some team total props maybe. But the play that I'm playing with my own money, it's already locked in. Jalen McMillan over 1.5 receptions plus 150. WTF, you fading, or LFG, you tailing? Comment below and let us know. That's what we got for today, Andy. Got to get on the board. Got to get on the board.
Yeah, we'll get on the board with this segment.
When I go to get on the board, Andy, I'm not saying, let me play a minus 180. Just, chip shot something in. I'm like, no, let's get some plus money here. Get on the board and recoup some of those losses. I like this one.
All right. Let's do it. Jay Mask, have they hit any props for Thursday Night Football? I'm glad you asked. Let's do
here
some
it comes,
here.
Baby. You came to the right place, Jay Mask.
We're going to go over 3 sprinkles and then a same game parlay. So we'll go over the sprinkles. I have one best bet that's up tonight that I think stands out way above the rest. So these are some sprinkles. I like Kirk Cousins over 205 passing. This has even come down here a little bit. So if you want to bet it, just wait. He's gone under in 2 of his last 3 starts, but Tampa's we talk about this Tampa Bay team every week. They're 27th against the pass, 8th against the run. They're tough to run against, but you can throw all over them. The last 3 games that he's started and played against Tampa Bay, his lowest passing total is 276 yards. I know that Drake London is out, and I know this because Drake London is on a fantasy team of mine, and I have him and Darnell Mooney, and we'll just say Darnell Mooney's no Drake London. But garbage time is going to count if they're down. If the game script shows that Tampa's again stopping the rush, then Kirk Cousins is going to go over. Correlate Bijan Robinson under 74.5, and it's the exact same reasoning. Bucs 27th against pass, 8th against the rush. He has never gone over against Tampa. His high is 63 yards. It like 11 yards less than this total is his high against this Tampa Bay team. And if you're Tampa, who are you scared of? Kirk Cousins throwing the ball or Bijan running it? It's Bijan running it. So I'll take the under on his rushing. And then we talked about Jalen McMillan over 10.5 receiving. He's going to play limited snaps, but I think they get him involved. They want to kind of shake the rust off a little bit. So yeah, Jalen McMillan will try and take 2 catches for 15 yards tonight. Let's do a same game parlay here. This will get you plus money, plus 126. We'll take Baker to throw 1 passing touchdown and Cousins to throw 1 passing touchdown. Baker gets all of his weapons back. Surely he throws 1. Cousins, we talked about the pass defense. I think he throws 1. And then let's take the Buccaneers team total over 23.5. This is a Buccaneers defense that is just getting shredded. They've given up this total, I believe, in 5 out of the last 6 games. So take Bucs over their team total, and that gets you plus 126. Before we go, real quick, a couple things here for you. Darts, the darts plays were released. Those are futures. Okay, those are futures. The tournament starts in like an hour. So those futures will come off the board. I will tell you there are 2 futures that have come off of my book. So I don't know what happened. Maybe there's a chance that everyone started playing them and they just came down off of the books. But there's a couple that I can't get. Don't worry about the futures if you can't get them. There's going to be like 35 more plays coming out. The real meat is on the daily matches that we have. So yeah, that's what we focus on. We got 1 play for today, but then the rest of the plays that are going to be coming out are going to start tomorrow. They start early, like 7:30 or 8 in the morning. So make sure you get the plays in tonight. So, all right. So Dan, I decided to watch the first episode of the last season of Stranger Things. I heard the hype. I loved the first season of Stranger Things. I like the second season of Stranger Things, which is weird for me because I do not like that genre. Like, I don't like superhero movies. It's just, yeah. So I watched the first episode and I said, if I like the first episode, I'll watch. But if I'm not into it, I'm done. I'm completely done with Stranger Things.
And
I'm so in. They're back, baby. They're back.
Go.
They faked. Not only did I watch the first, I watched all of them.
I binged them, and I just finished them last night. Like you know how Wednesday's a little bit of a slow night for the things that you and I are betting. So I was like, you know what? Let me get in. And I started 1 episode, and then I was like, holy crap! And then I was stuck watching them. Now, the thing for me was, Andy, I was kind of like you. So much time has passed. You know, how is it gonna go? Number one, the production value is insane. I mean, they're all mini movies. You know what I mean? And it actually looks great. And they left it on a great little cliffhanger. The next one's come out, I believe, on Christmas, which is going to be one of the few days that you and I actually have off here. So we'll have to recoup. But yeah, let us know, folks. It's been a lot of time since time has passed. Are you in or out on the Stranger Things? Because Andy and I, we're back, baby. We're back.
It was great. It was everything I wanted, and if they win me over, that says a lot. Because, like I said, I don't understand the superhero movies, the sci-fi, all that stuff. But man, they totally got it. It is pretty funny. Let's just say some of the child actors improved, and a few of them did not. There's some rough acting.
It's very fair. Some of them, this will be their final role. Let's say.
Yes. Yes. Some of them got better. Some of them did not. So, this is a great one. Titans. Andy already hit over 7, touching his ear.
Oh,
Dan and I are not touching our ears. It's our AirPods.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because they slip. It's weird because they fit in there, but they slip out. It's very strange.
When you talk a lot, they start to slip out. So I'm reaching up and I'm touching the AirPod, not my ear. I was like, what is he talking about? But yes, that is what is happening for that. So, all right, that is going to do it for us on this Thursday. We got a huge show. It's Football Friday tomorrow. It's going to be the usual gang, Gianni, Teddy, Marco, and Dan and I are going to do our Pick 5 Super Contest best bet. So make sure you join us. We're going to get you ready for everything football, and all plays can be found at wt.buzz/AL. We have a huge day and night of bets. We got that Thursday Night Football best bet. I'm attaching NBA to that one just because I'm feeling Santa Clausy tonight. So let's cash big. We're having a great December. I was thinking it was Andy's cute.
It's like a pitcher signal, Andy. Yeah, it's the pitcher signal. No. Fastball.
So, all right. Thank you very much, guys. Let's have a big day. Hit the like button, please. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're over 250,000 people. So if you haven't subscribed and hit that bell, you get notified when all these shows go live and all of our breakdown videos go up. So thank you very much, guys. We'll see you again on Football Friday. Good luck on your bets. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.